I was the first to arrive in an Alfa Romeo GTV6. Now, you would imagine that when one of these comes onto the market, classic car enthusiasts are running around like they're in a zombie movie and it's Black Friday. But no, I bought this from an 83-year-old man who'd had it since new and was only selling it because his 84-year-old wife found it so difficult to get in and out of, you know. It's only done 26,000 miles, and yet it cost £10,000. And £10,000, that's a round of drinks in the world where this sort of thing belongs. Oh, hello. James May in a Lancia Gamma Coupe. It's one of the prettiest cars ever made, but don't tell him I said that. Morning, May. How much?
£13,500.
Oh, so £3,500 more than I paid for this vastly superior Alfa Romeo.
Well, £13,500 is a bargain for a car that is coach-built and extremely rare and beautiful.
But it isn't exotic like this is.
What do you mean it's not exotic?
OK, may I just talk you through some of this car's features, yes? Transaxle, gearbox at the back, twin plate clutch, discs all round,
Wow.
unusual at the time. One of the best engines ever made, 2.5-litre V6. Those aren't my words, by the way. They are the words of James May in Car Magazine.
Yes, I did
You
say
love
that.
this engine.
I do.
And this has won the European Touring Car Championship 4 years on the trot. It won the British Touring Car Championship.
This has got race breeding as well.
What, the Gamma?
It's a Lancia. They're the most successful rallying team in history. Not my words, the words of Jeremy Clarkson. And that is a better-looking car.
What's in this?
Yes.
It is superb.
It's not superb.
I tell you what's not superb. Richard Hammond arriving in a Fiat X19. How much?
£2,250.
Somebody saw you coming, Hammond.
What? For a baby Ferrari? 2,200...
Did you just call it a baby Ferrari?
He did.
Because it is mid-engined Italian. It's exactly what it is.
Well, listen to that sound.
I know.
That is the reassuring sound of tin on Russian steel.
It's a light, bright, effervescent sound, just like the car.
How many colours has this car been? It was black, then it was red, then it was white, then it was pale blue, and now it's purple.
I'd like to add, actually, it's not how many colours has this car been, how many cars has this been?
Well, quite. It's now going brown.
Brown, yeah.
All right, then, I'm not going to turn around and try and work out which Alfa you've bought.
The best
Oh,
Alfa.
it's a GTV6.
Exactly.
Yep. Why has it got this plastic bit in the middle of the bonnet?
Genius. The engine in this car had a small issue. It used to backfire, well, front fire actually, and blow the top off the engine, yeah? So that would damage the bonnet. So they put this plastic panel, which was easier to replace.
Why didn't they stop it backfiring?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
They were busy.
Lazy. Can I just ask, what's that broom handle thing for?
Well, then, this is another characteristic of the GT V6, is that when you park up, you need to keep the clutch pedal depressed, using a broom handle like that.
Right.
Otherwise, the clutch and the flywheel will fuse together.
I see.
You know, I used to own one of these. There's not a lot I don't know about it.
Yeah. When you used to own one of these,
Yeah.
how did you find the gear change?
Smooth, snicky.
No, it wasn't, was it?
No, those aren't quite the right words.
Terrible. What about second?
Yeah, second. I don't know, I never found it.
No, exactly.
Yes, let's not get bogged down with some of the Alfa's minor design flaws.
Disasters.
Because all three of us have got classic cars
I have, yes.
for good money. We're in Scotland, so why don't we take them on a drive in... Well, let's be honest, Scotland is just a road trip.
Well,
I agree.
we could, while we're here, we could do the NC 500. Which, I mean, that is, it's...
Voted by Condé Nast Traveller magazine, voted it the best road trip in the world last year.
Locks, mountains, it's just...
All the pretty bits, yeah.
No, it's all the best bits of Scotland, right?
Yeah.
500 miles round the north coast of Scotland.
In Italian exotic
That
cars.
would be... Oh, hang on.
What?
Text. Yeah. Mr. Willman. Mr. Willman. It says, those cars will not do 500 yards, leave alone 500 miles. So I provided 3 backup vehicles which you can use to get home when they go wrong and catch fire and explode.
Morning.
Morning.
Why did he say meet on a beach, and why did we listen to him?
Where is he? Hammond!
It's 4 o'clock, for Pete's sake.
Is that a Fiat Panda?
Fiat Panda 4x4.
It's terrible.
It's fantastic.
No, that's fantastic. Look at that. That is a sturdy car, that is.
Isn't that a very popular car with the gay community?
Is it?
Oh yeah, there was a thing in America where they had the top 10 LGBT cars, and that came third or something.
What? Lesbian, bacon. No, what is it? Lesbian, bacon, transgender. What's that? Well, wasn't that a distressed flare?
Well, a red one is a distress, isn't it?
So, while Hammond unwrapped his car, James and I turned our attention to his Fiat Panda.
I bought it from an English family who had bought a house in Tuscany. And Pepe. Pepe the Panda. And they loved it.
Do you know, I know everything about this family. This has been used for picking their friends up from Pisa Airport.
Oh, undoubtedly.
And their friends are the editor of The Guardian,
Yes.
Tony Blair,
Sherry Blair.
Sting, Alan Yentob.
Yes.
Every single lightweight socialist in Britain has been in this car.
I bet they made their own olive oil as well.
Oh no, we're socialists, really. As they are sitting with their Prosecco, we really care. We're raising awareness. Raising awareness means I'm doing absolutely nothing at all. I bet they had a little man in the village who...
As the pet shop boy ranted on, Hammond finally finished unwrapping his pickup truck.
Bought by people who want to feel better about themselves.
Yeah. So if you have your second home whilst people in the world are homeless and starving, it's okay as long as you have a small Fiat.
Oh, shit. Hammond, you moron!
Well, I couldn't do anything. I got no steering. I was
Why
talking.
didn't you tell us?
I was yelling on the radio. You pulled me
This
through a
family has
building.
loved this car since 1991, and you turn up from bloody Wales or North America or wherever it is you've been, and you've already ruined it.
Listen, it's been a bit of a cluster thing. We need to work it all out. We need communications properly organised.
What is
You
that?
need
That?
It's my ladder.
You bought something you can't get into or out of without a ladder.
It's very high up.
Hammond, that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's brilliant. Look at it. That was like the best Christmas I've ever had, unwrapping it out at sea. I was like, ooh, can't wait. And then I saw a little bit of a flame.
And what is that? A skull-faced fox abomination. Look at it.
That is inspiration. It's already got nature pictures on it. It's brilliant. Doesn't that cheer you up a bit?
No, it doesn't cheer me
Yes,
up.
it does. It does. It makes you feel happy.
So, what I'm thinking is, here, when the lights go green, down, what's a quarter of a mile, just beyond the church?
Yeah, something like that.
Perfect.
What if the police come?
Well, he won't. He's in Beverly Hills. I've seen the movie.
Why can't we just do this on a racetrack or a runway like we usually do?
Because we're here to prove that this is a racetrack.
Detroit is empty now and should just be used for this sort of thing.
Yes, but it isn't a real race. It's an actual race.
No, it is.
is.
This is where the muscle car was born.
I can't do it.
Why can't you do it?
Because Dodge only lent me that car if I promised not to do any drag racing on the road with it.
What?
But it is,
That's what it's for.
I know.
it's literally what it's for.
Yes, I know, but that's the way it is. I'm sorry.
Do you think it's an insurance?
It is. It's because it's
No,
him. It's
not.
because
You don't
it's
want
you.
it on the roof.
Who's driving it? Richard Hammond.
You can't drive it.
It's just what they said, and I'm really sorry, so we can't do it. I'm sorry.
We can.
Well, you're not going to do it without that.
Let me think. Yeah, we are. Just
Really
right
gonna-
the way. Right the way off.
One for all and all for yourselves. That's how
Yep.
it goes, isn't it?
Having decided to make the doorway of a barber shop the finishing line, James and I prepared for the race. I'm only doing this to annoy Hammond. I mean, I can't possibly win. Yes, I've got a supercharged V8, but it only produces 720 horsepower. That's 280 less than the Exorcist.
I don't want to sound like you, but
Finally, I waved the white flag. And then we took a closer look at the savage beating heart of the Exorcist. And that's a standard Corvette engine, basically,
Z06, yep.
with a supercharger plonked on the top. That's there, yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
2.9 litre supercharger.
So The bit they've bolted to your engine is bigger than most European engines.
Yes.
So's the one on mine. It's 2.7 litres.
Yeah, not as big. The point is, Simon, this is the Exorcist. The job of the Exorcist is to vanquish the demon.
It's like, you remember in the 60s, I think Di Tommaso made a car called the Mangusta, which is Italian for mongoose.
Yes, and a mongoose can kill a cobra, can't it?
That's why they did it.
Yes, but this hasn't vanquished the demon. It hasn't beaten it.
Tell you what, why don't you find a racetrack or a runway somewhere, OK? I'll gracefully bow out, and we can have a race between good and evil. It's the birthplace of Henry Ford's business.
Yeah.
Then a theatre. It's a car park. We can bring some theatre back with our noise test.
Actually, there's a kind of poetry to it. It's beautiful.
Precisely.
Not just bringing the poetry, also bringing the decibel-o-meter.
Oh, perfect.
So, you can go and go first.
Why am I going first?
I just said you can go first.
He did. I heard him say it.
I've brought the new Volkswagen Polo GTI, which has 197 horsepower. Richard Hammond has brought the new Ford Fiesta ST, which also has 197 horsepower. James May has brought the new Toyota Yaris, which has a ridiculous name, the How do you say that?
Grumina.
It isn't Grumina. There's no at the end. It says Grum.
It is a funny name.
What does it mean?
Gazoo Racing, Meisters of the Nürburgring.
Oh, your favourite place.
That's where it was developed.
And what is Gazoo Racing?
Gazoo Racing is Toyota's racing division. This has been done by a small group of people dedicating themselves over 2 years to making this the perfect hot hatch. Stiffened body shell, shorter springs, sax dampers. It's got a supercharger, it's got special forged wheels, it's got special tyres, it's got stiffened anti-roll bars, it's even got a different steering rack from the standard Yaris. That's proper hot hatch technology.
My car is just over 21,000. Yours is what? Just shy of 20?
Just shy of 20.
Yeah, just under 20. Over £26,000.
And worth every penny, because it's properly developed as a hot hatchback.
It's not a pretty car.
It's
I think
it's
it
put
is.
makeup on one eye. Slightly mad makeup on one eye. It's like Kiss.
It's like watching my daughters get ready in the morning. Am I done? Yeah, you're done.
Yours is a brown car.
It's not brown.
That is brown.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It isn't. It's mushroom.
The cameramen know about colour. Is it brown?
It's brown.
It's definitely brown.
It's
brown. There you
It's
go.
mushroom. The meeting point was on the shores of the Black Sea, and naturally enough, James May was the last to arrive in the new BMW 8 Series. God, it doesn't look anything like as good in the flesh as it did in the pictures.
It is disappointing in the metal. I'm afraid that's the case.
And brown!
What?
Brown!
It's sunburst orange.
Mate, that's a brown car.
It's sunburst orange. It's not brown.
It's brown!
Orange.
And it looks very like a Toyota.
No,
Is
it
it on
doesn't.
delivery wheels? Are they specially for delivering it?
What are you talking
No,
about?
there's little
casters.
wheels that they can move it around
that's what I
on.
mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, they're not big enough, are they?
Can you have a 22-inch wheel?
No.
Why not?
Well, why would you want a 22-inch wheel?
Because
It would
then it would-
spoil the ride.
Would fill the arches.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh! And I suspect criminal offence.
What?
Anyone who puts an M badge on a BMW that isn't an M BMW has to go to prison.
So this is one of those M cars that isn't an M
It
car.
isn't
They've
an
done
M
that
car,
before.
is it?
No, it's not the M8. That
why does
comes
it say
later.
M on it?
Because it's the M Sport, in effect.
fake.
as
So
well. It's
M
not a fake.
Sport just means not an M, doesn't it?
But it's in between the M and the normal cars. That's why you have M Sport 5 Series,
Not
for
an M.
example.
This is like Elton John's Greatest Hits without your song or Tiny Dancer on it.
James, I don't want to be childish about this now, but I hate...
Do you not?
I hate
But
your,
you're going to.
I hate your gear lever.
I love it.
Look at it.
I think that's fantastic.
And the rest, it's horrible gear lever and a boring interior.
That's contemporary and tasteful. Let's have a look at yours. What have you got? Oh, you've got the new
where?
Bentley
Oh,
that's
the
the same as the
Bentley.
old Bentley.
Apart from being a completely new car.
Yeah, but it looks the same.
It doesn't look the same. It's completely different front end, different sides.
Oh, no, it looks like an
different
Aventador.
back.
No.
It's a completely new car.
This monochrome Union Jack applied by Germans.
Yes. There is some German influence.
Chassis, German.
Yeah,
Engine,
yeah,
German.
yeah. Oh no! The Germans have done all the tech and engineering. That'll no wait, it'll be brilliant. What?
It's a bit...
It's
I use the word advise. It's a bit camp.
That is a special...
Camp?
It is.
What's camp
It's
about
all
that?
pleated and leathery and... Oh.
It does give good occasion now.
That is a special event.
Does Liberace pop up out of the centre console and play the piano for you?
You see, the reason I'm not having a go at your interior is my Aston has been delivered with Birmingham spec.
That's horrible.
Oh, that's quite vivid, isn't it? I mean, worryingly for you, I quite like that.
You like that, exactly.
So this is, it's a DB11.
No, well, no, it's the DBS. Superleggera.
Because it's very light, isn't it?
Is it?
That's what Superleggera means, yeah?
It's 72 kilograms lighter than a DB11.
And no more expensive.
Well, it's a bit more expensive.
How much more expensive?
It's £67,000 more
Yes.
than DB11.
And how much is it?
A lot.
Is it something like £250,000?
No!
What is it then?
A bit less.
230?
A bit less.
225?
Yes.
Mine's £100,000. It's contemporary and it's modern. There's no good saying, oh, it looks Japanese, as if that's a slur. The Japanese advanced the car massively in the last century.
Eventually. So, I called May and Hammond, and we came up with an idea.
If you are a Chinese businessman or businessman woman, and you want a car that reflects your status, you don't need to spend £880,000. You can simply pop over to Europe and buy a Mercedes S-Class like this one. And even though this is the 6-litre V12, it costs me just £8,800. In other words, you could have 100 of these for the price of a Hongqi. At this point, my colleague Richard Hammond arrived in something or other. What is that?
This is a Cadillac STS, and you can shut up.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Good, because this is fitted with one of the best engines of all time. The creamy smooth 4.6-litre North Star V8, making 300 all-American horsepower. That engine was designed so it can run for up to 100 miles with no coolant in it at all, by shutting down one bank of the V8 until it cools, and then the other one, and then the other one. That is clever.
And front-wheel drive?
Yeah. It's a luxury car. Who cares what wheels are being driven, James?
Well, people who care about torque steer, weight distribution, dignified engineering, doing things properly.
All right, I'll cancel all the track days I've entered in it, and I'll just drive around in it as a luxury car.
Anyway, this is the Mercedes S-Class, which, as we know, is really a sort of paradigm for the luxury car, and it's a pioneer of many things that are new on cars and that we all come to see as standard 7 years later. For example, first car to have...
Soft closed doors. How many miles has it done?
180,000.
Yeah, well, I figured.
Where did your car come from?
Germany.
A German?
Mm-hmm.
Bought a Cadillac. We were then interrupted by the arrival of Clarkson in a BMW. Ooh, I see you've bought the long car.
Yours is long as well.
Are you two been from the 1970s?
Well, they're long wheelbase. And this is long.
It is long.
This is the BMW 750iL, as Q called it in the Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies.
Did he?
He did.
He did.
Nobody told him.
Nobody on set said, Desmond, that's not
You
really
would
safe.
think, wouldn't you? Oh, well.
And in the film, they use 740s rebadged. This is the real deal. The 5.4-litre V12, and all I paid for it was £8,400. That is one hell of a lot of car.
I only paid £3,000 for my Cadillac. That's a Cadillac.
Yes, the point I'm going to make is, what kind of a moron in Germany said, there's Audi, there's BMW, there's Mercedes, I should buy a Cadillac. In fact, I know exactly. You know those Germans you see that think they're Hell's Angels? They're dentists, but they have Harley-Davidsons.
Yes.
And they go to the Oktoberfest and they drink Budweiser.
Yes, well, I know the Germans you mean.
Indeed.
No, you're wrong, because the previous owner of that car was an American general living in Germany.
Was
A
he?
general.
He was an American general, and he bought that because he recognised what Cadillac intended with that car, which is to take on Audi, BMW, Mercedes directly with that car with the North Star engine.
Oh, yes, they were very successful at that, weren't they? Because Europe is full of Cadillacs.
Yeah, you see them everywhere.
You never see an Audi.
Tripping over these.
Rarity and exclusivity are part of luxury.
Let's have a look at yours.
Mine, honestly, is a perfect nick. It's
I saw that.
absolutely fine.
I saw that.
So what?
That's got
Nothing
double
to see.
glazing and it has gone wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on.
What's the disease? It's got...
Is that, James, is that between the panes?
Yeah, it's got
Incredible.
mumps.
That's the most depressing. A double glazed window with mildew in
What's the
between
matter?
it.
You've got mildew inside your windows.
Where?
There.
Yeah.
Well, it's...
That's really poor. Oh, my God. Basically, it's disappearing before your eyes.
How can a German car go? Are you sure it's a real one?
Was it parked in the sea when you bought it?
Let's not get bogged down with the oxidisation of my car. Because a lot of Chinese people, as we know, come to Europe these days, mostly to go to the Lister shopping village, which is now a bigger tourist attraction for the Chinese in England than Buckingham Palace. True fact.
Does anybody else find that faintly depressing?
Very depressing. If Chinese people are going to come to the UK and buy Western soap and Western frocks, why would they not buy Western cars when they're there?
Yeah, because you can't buy these cars second-hand over here.
No, they're not. This vintage isn't available here.
No.
Because when these cars were new, everyone in China had...
Bicycles.
Yes.
Yes. But
Oxen.
yeah.
And what we're saying is you can buy one of these for a lot less than a luxury Hongqi. A lot less.
And that's what we're here to prove, people of China.